My name is Cassidy Lawson. I'm 33. Last Tuesday at 6:47 a.m., I stood in the marble foyer of what used to be our penthouse while my husband Bradley threw my mother's silver locket into a trash bag and said, "Sign the settlement, Cassidy, or I'll make sure you leave here with nothing but the clothes on your back." The bag was already half full. My winter coats, photo albums, the ceramic mug I'd bought in Prague. He'd spent the previous hour methodically packing my life into garbage bags while his attorney, Jonathan Cole, stood by the breakfast bar reviewing paperwork and sipping espresso from our wedding china. "The offer is $10,000, Jonathan said without looking up, "and you sign an affidavit stating you contributed nothing to this marriage financially. No equity claim, no spousal support, clean break." My hands went numb. $10,000? Bradley, I put down $80,000 for this place. That was my inheritance from my mother. Bradley laughed, actually laughed. "Your mother? Cassidy, that was a gift. You gave it freely. John, show her the reclassification." Jonathan slid a document across the marble counter. My $80,000 down payment, legally reclassified as a gift to the marriage in a document I'd never seen before, dated 6 months ago, with my signature, except I'd never signed it. "This isn't my signature," I whispered. "It's close enough," Bradley said. He picked up another framed photo, me and my mother at my college graduation, and dropped it into the bag. Glass cracked. "You have until 9 a.m. to sign, or I'm filing an emergency order to freeze everything. Your credit cards, your bank access, even that pathetic data entry job of yours. I'll make one call and you'll be unemployable." His mother, Patricia, emerged from the guest bedroom with Vanessa trailing behind her. Vanessa, the junior attorney from Cole and Partners, 26 years old, wearing my bathrobe, carrying a champagne flute at 6:51 in the morning. Patricia looked at me like I was a stain on her carpet. "Bradley, darling, is she still here? I thought we agreed she'd be gone by sunrise." "She's leaving," Bradley said. "Aren't you, Cassidy?" I looked at the trash bags, at the $10,000 settlement that wouldn't cover 2 months' rent, at the forged signature, at Vanessa smirking behind her champagne. My throat closed. I couldn't speak. I couldn't breathe. "Tick-tock," Bradley said, checking his Rolex. 8 a.m. The offer expires. "And Cassidy? When you're gone, don't ever contact me again. You were dead weight. You always were." Before I go on, if stories about standing up for yourself mean something to you, please hit like and subscribe, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from right now and what time is it there. Let me take you back 11 years to the night before my mother died. I was 22, sitting beside her hospital bed at Mercy General. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. The doctors had given her 3 weeks. She lasted 5. Her room smelled like antiseptic and jasmine. She'd made me bring her favorite perfume from home because she said hospitals were too sterile. She was holding my hand, her grip surprisingly strong despite the morphine drip. "Cassidy, listen to me," she whispered. "When I'm gone, you're going to feel lost. You're going to want someone to lean on. That's normal. That's human." "Mom, don't." "Let me finish." She squeezed my hand. "When you find that person, the one you want to build a life with, make sure they see you. Not what you can give them, not what you can do for them, you. The girl who used to count stars on our porch, the girl who cried during insurance commercials, the girl who's stronger than she knows." I was crying. "I don't feel strong." "You will," she said. "I promise you, little star, you will. And when that day comes, I'll be watching. I'll always find you." She died 6 days later. Left me $127,000 from her life insurance. I put $80,000 toward the penthouse down payment when Bradley and I got married 2 years later. I thought I was building our future. I was wrong. The first betrayal happened 14 months into our marriage. May 3rd, 2019. I remember because it was our anniversary of moving into the penthouse. I'd planned a surprise dinner. Nothing fancy, just pasta carbonara and tiramisu from the Italian place on Lexington where we'd had our first date. I'd set the table with candles, put on the dress Bradley loved, and waited. He came home at 11:37 p.m. with Vanessa. "Oh," he said, seeing the cold pasta. "You cooked." "It's our anniversary," I said quietly. "Of the penthouse." Vanessa giggled. "Bradley, you didn't tell me you had plans." "I didn't," he said flatly. "Cassidy, Vanessa and I have been working late on the Garrison merger. We grabbed dinner. I didn't think you'd mind." My face burned. "You didn't think I'd mind that you forgot our anniversary?" "Cassidy." His voice dropped to that tone, the one that made me feel 6 inches tall. "It's not our anniversary. Our wedding anniversary is in October. This is just a date we moved furniture. I spent 3 hours cooking, and I appreciate it," he said, not appreciating it. "But Vanessa and I have work to finish. You understand." They disappeared into his office. I sat at that table until 2 a.m., watching the candles burn down to nothing. The next morning, I found out he'd emptied our joint savings account. $42,000. Gone. "I moved it to a high-yield investment account," he explained when I confronted him. "You wouldn't understand the details. It's a sophisticated vehicle, corporate clients only." "But that was our emergency fund." "Cassidy." He set down his coffee. "Do you trust me or not?" "I trust you, but—" "Then stop questioning me. I'm building wealth for our future. Your data entry salary isn't doing that. Let me handle the finances." I apologized. I actually apologized for asking where my own money went. Over the next 18 months, the pattern repeated. He'd disappear for days, claim he was working late with Vanessa on client emergencies. I'd find charges on our credit cards, $8,000 dinners, $15,000 weekend trips to the Caymans, $23,000 in jewelry I never saw. When I asked, he'd sigh like I was exhausting him. "Cassidy, these are business expenses, client development. You wouldn't understand." And I stopped asking. Then came the day everything collapsed. January 11th, 2024, 3:14 p.m. I was finishing my data entry shift when Bradley called. "I'm filing for divorce," he said. No preamble, no explanation. "Jonathan is drawing up papers. You'll be served by end of week." My hands shook so badly I dropped my phone. "What? Bradley, what are you talking about?" "I'm talking about the fact that I've been supporting you for 4 years while you play at a job. I'm talking about the fact that you contribute nothing. I'm talking about the fact that Vanessa makes me happy in ways you never could." "Vanessa, you've been—" "Don't act surprised, Cassidy. Everyone knew. My mother knew. Trent knew. Even Jonathan knew. You were the only one stupid enough to pretend everything was fine." He hung up. I sat at my desk for 42 minutes. Just sat there, staring at the screen. My supervisor, Marcus, knocked on my door. "Cassidy, you okay?" "My husband just asked for a divorce," I heard myself say. Over the phone, at 3:14 on a Thursday. Marcus pulled up a chair. "I'm sorry, that's brutal. He's been cheating on me, with his colleague, for months, maybe years." "Jesus. And I think he's been stealing our money. I think he's been hiding assets. I couldn't finish the sentence because finishing it meant admitting how blind I'd been. Marcus was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "Cassidy, I don't know what you do when you're not here, but I do know this. You're one of the sharpest people I've ever worked with. Whatever you decide to do next, you're going to be fine." I didn't believe him. The divorce papers arrived Saturday morning, delivered by a process server who caught me in yoga pants and my mother's old NYU sweatshirt. The terms were stunning. $10,000 settlement, no alimony, no equity claim on the penthouse, immediate surrender of all credit cards, and a mandatory affidavit stating I'd contributed zero financial value to the marriage. I called Bradley. "This is insane. I put down $80,000, which was a gift," he interrupted. "I have documentation, signed by you." "I never signed." "You did. You just don't remember." Now stop calling me. Jonathan will handle everything from here. He blocked my number. I tried calling Patricia. She answered on the fifth ring. Cassidy, dear, I'm sure this is difficult for you, she said, her voice dripping with false sympathy. But Bradley has made his choice. He's with Vanessa now. She's more suited to his lifestyle, you understand? I understand that your son is stealing from me. Careful, Patricia said, and the sweetness vanished. Accusing Bradley of theft is defamatory. Jonathan is a very competent attorney. I'd hate to see you sued for slander on top of everything else. She hung up. I called Trent, Bradley's younger brother. We'd always gotten along. He'd been a groomsman at our wedding. Trent, please, I need someone to talk sense into Bradley. Cassidy, I love you, but this is between you and my brother. I can't get involved. He's hiding money. I know he is. Can you just ask him? I can't. His voice was tight. I'm sorry. I have to go. Click. I was alone. The first month after Bradley moved out was a slow-motion disaster. My credit card stopped working on February 3rd. I was at a grocery store, buying eggs and bread, and the cashier said, "Ma'am, this card's been declined." I tried another one. Declined. I tried the joint account debit card. Declined. I left the groceries on the counter and walked out. When I got home, I checked my bank account. Balance: $847.62. Everything else, the joint savings, the checking account Bradley had insisted we merge, even the emergency fund, frozen or emptied. I called Jonathan Cole's office 17 times. He never called back. I found a lawyer who offered a free consultation. Her name was Lisa Brennan. She reviewed my paperwork for 40 minutes, then set down her pen. Cassidy, I'm going to be honest with you. This is bad. How bad? Your husband has a senior partner from one of the most prestigious firms in the city representing him. You have a forged document that you can't prove is forged without an expensive forensic analysis. And unless you have proof that you contributed financially to the marriage, pay stubs, tax returns, bank records showing your deposits, he's going to argue you were a dependent spouse. But I worked. I had my data entry job, making $40,000 a year while he made, $320,000? A judge is going to see that as a significant disparity. And if he's claiming your down payment was a gift, she trailed off. What do I do? You need money, Lisa said bluntly. A retainer for me is $15,000. Forensic document analysis is another $8,000. If this goes to court, you're looking at $50,000 minimum. Do you have that? I had $847.62. I didn't think so, Lisa said gently. I'm sorry, Cassidy. I wish I could help. I took a bus home because I couldn't afford a cab. It was raining. The bus broke down on Fifth Avenue. I walked the last 9 blocks in the rain, carrying my mother's silver locket in my pocket because I was terrified Bradley would find a way to take it. When I got home, to the studio apartment I'd rented for $1,800 a month, I sat on the floor and opened my laptop. I had one option left. I logged into my work portal, not the data entry portal, the other one. See, Marcus had been right about one thing. I was sharp. Sharp enough to have passed the Certified Forensic Accountant exam 5 years ago. Sharp enough to have been recruited by Apex Forensics 3 years ago. Sharp enough to have spent the last 18 months as chief director, leading federal financial audits and money laundering investigations for the SEC and FBI. My data entry job was a cover, a low-profile position I maintained for operational security. Because when you're investigating RICO cases and corporate fraud, you don't advertise your real job. You stay quiet, you stay invisible, and you wait for the right moment. I pulled up Bradley's financial records, the ones I'd been quietly monitoring for the last 7 months, ever since I'd noticed irregularities in his tax returns, the ones that showed $4.2 million in wire transfers to Cayman Islands shell companies, $1.8 million in cash deposits to Trent's underground casino network, $670,000 in consulting fees paid to fake LLCs, all drafted by Vanessa, all routed through Jonathan Cole's firm. Bradley wasn't just cheating on me, he was running a money laundering syndicate, and I documented every transaction. I opened a new file, titled it Report 402, Reed Financial Holdings, Federal Investigation. Then I started writing. The public humiliation happened 6 weeks later. I was at Starbucks on Madison Avenue, wearing my NYU sweatshirt and waiting for a coffee, when Patricia walked in with Vanessa. They didn't see me at first. I heard Patricia say, "The wedding venue holds 300. I'm thinking late June. Vanessa, you'll make such a beautiful bride." My stomach dropped. Then Vanessa spotted me. "Oh, Patricia, look! It's Cassidy." Patricia turned, her face transformed into a mask of pity. "Cassidy, what a surprise! How are you managing?" "I'm fine," I said quietly. "Are you?" Patricia stepped closer, lowering her voice just enough that the barista and 3 other customers could still hear. "Because Bradley mentioned you've been calling his office, repeatedly. Darling, it's starting to look desperate." "I haven't called in weeks." "Haven't you?" Patricia's eyes went wide with false concern. "Oh dear, maybe Jonathan blocked your number." "Anyway, we just wanted to let you know, Vanessa and Bradley are engaged. Isn't that wonderful?" Vanessa held up her hand, a diamond the size of a marble. My mother's voice echoed, "Make sure they see you." "Congratulations," I said. "Thank you," Vanessa beamed. "It's a 3-carat radiant cut. Bradley said I deserve something special, something elevated." The word hung in the air like a slap. Patricia touched my arm. "Cassidy, I hope you understand. This isn't personal. Bradley just needs someone who can match his ambition, someone who contributes equally, you understand." 3 people were staring. The barista was frozen mid-pour. I felt it then, that thing that breaks inside you when you realize people don't just disrespect you. They enjoy it. Something hardened. "I understand," I said calmly. "Enjoy your coffee." I took my drink and walked out. Behind me, I heard Vanessa whisper, "She took that better than I expected." Patricia laughed. "What choice does she have?" I sat in my car for 20 minutes, hands shaking, face burning, and then I pulled out my phone and called my direct supervisor at Apex Forensics. "It's time," I said. "I need to file the report." The discovery of the full scope came 3 days later. I was reviewing financial statements at my apartment when I found it, a voicemail from 11 months ago. I'd saved it but never listened to it again. It was my mother, recorded 2 weeks before she died. "Cassidy, it's Mom. I just wanted to tell you, I know you're going to be okay. I know you're going to find someone who loves you. But baby, listen to me. Don't ever let anyone make you feel small. Don't ever let anyone convince you that you're not enough. You are brilliant. You are capable. You are my little star. And when the time comes, when you need to fight for yourself, don't hesitate, don't apologize, just fight. I love you." I played it 17 times. Then I opened Report 402 and added the final section. Recommended action. Federal grand jury indictment. Bradley's escalation came exactly 1 week later. Jonathan Cole called me directly. First time he'd acknowledged my existence since filing the divorce papers. "Cassidy, we're prepared to make a final offer, $25,000. You sign the affidavit. This ends today." "And if I don't?" "Then we go to court. And Cassidy, I'm going to be blunt. You don't have representation. You don't have resources. The judge is going to see a man who built a successful career and a woman who couldn't keep a marriage together. Take the money." "I'll see you in court," I said. "You're making a mistake." "Maybe." He hung up. That afternoon, Bradley texted me from a new number. "You're going to regret this." I didn't respond. 2 days later, Patricia called from an unknown number. "Cassidy, I'm calling as a favor. Drop the court fight. Take the settlement. Because if you don't, Bradley has documentation proving you were mentally unstable during the marriage. He has emails. He has witness statements. He's going to destroy you." "Let him try," I said. You cannot even afford a paralegal, she hissed. What are you going to do? Represent yourself? You'll be laughed out of the courtroom. We'll see. How pathetic, she said, and hung up. The unexpected opportunity came from an impossible source. I got a call from Judge Sandra Morrison's clerk. Ms. Lawson, Judge Morrison has reviewed the preliminary filings for Reed versus Reed. She's requesting both parties appear for a settlement conference, Federal Family Court, Courtroom 4B, March 18th at 10 a.m. I'll be there. Bradley tried to sabotage it. Jonathan filed an emergency motion claiming I was in contempt for harassment, based on Patricia's claim that I'd called Bradley's office 47 times. The motion was denied when I submitted my phone records showing 0 calls. Vanessa tried to spread rumors at Cole and Partners that I was unstable, that I'd threatened Bradley, that I was dangerous. But I didn't respond. I just prepared. March 18th arrived. I walked into courtroom 4B at 9:52 a.m., wearing a navy suit I'd bought at Target and carrying a single leather briefcase. Bradley was already there, so was Jonathan, Patricia, Trent, Vanessa. They sat on the left side of the courtroom like a tribunal. Bradley in a $4,000 suit, Jonathan reviewing notes on a tablet, Vanessa whispering something that made Patricia laugh. When I walked in, Vanessa nudged Bradley. He turned, his face split into a smirk. "You actually showed up," he said loud enough for everyone to hear. "I'm impressed." "Mr. Reed," Judge Morrison said sharply, "this is a courtroom, not a social club." "My apologies, Your Honor." Bradley didn't look apologetic. He looked triumphant. Judge Morrison was a stern woman in her late 50s. She looked at me. "Ms. Lawson, are you representing yourself?" "No, Your Honor. I have representation." Jonathan frowned. "Your Honor, we haven't been notified of any counsel." "You will be," I said quietly. The courtroom door opened. Marcus walked in, my supervisor from Apex Forensics, followed by 2 FBI agents, followed by an attorney from the U.S. Attorney's Office. Bradley's smirk faltered. "What is this?" Jonathan stood. "Your Honor, this is highly irregular." "Sit down, Mr. Cole," Judge Morrison said. "Ms. Lawson, would you like to proceed?" I opened my briefcase, pulled out a sealed envelope marked Federal Forensic Audit, Report 402, classified. "Your Honor, I'd like to submit evidence for the record." Jonathan was on his feet. "Objection! We haven't seen this evidence." "You're about to," I said. I handed the envelope to the bailiff, who delivered it to Judge Morrison. She opened it. Her face went pale, then hard. She looked at Bradley. "Mr. Reed, you and your counsel need to see this. Now." The bailiff brought the report to Jonathan. He scanned the first page, his face drained of color. Bradley grabbed it. "What is this? Cassidy, what the hell?" "It's a federal forensic audit," I said calmly. "Conducted over the last 18 months by Apex Forensics. I'm the chief director. I've been investigating financial crimes for the SEC and FBI for 3 years. The courtroom went silent. "You're a data entry clerk," Patricia said weakly. "No," I said. "I'm a federally appointed special master with biometric clearance, SCIF-level access, and authority to issue emergency account freezes. The data entry job was operational cover." Vanessa dropped her folder. Papers scattered. I continued. "Report 402 documents, $4. $2 million in wire transfers to Cayman Islands shell companies owned by Bradley Reed. $1.8 million laundered through Trent Reed's casino network. $670,000 in fraudulent consulting contracts drafted by Vanessa Chen and processed through Cole and Partners." "This is absurd," Jonathan started. "Page 47, I said. Bank of Grand Cayman, account number ending in 4739, opened by Bradley Reed on June 3, 2022. Initial deposit, $850,000. Source, forged invoices from Harmon Industries, a company that doesn't exist." Bradley's face went gray. "Page 63, I continued. Trent Reed, owner of Red Ace Holdings, received $1.8 million in cash deposits between January 2022 and December 2023. Deposits correlate with Bradley's wire transfer schedule. Probability of coincidence, 0.004%. Trent stood up. I don't have to listen to this. Sit down, Judge Morrison said. FBI, detain these individuals. The two FBI agents moved forward. Wait, Jonathan said desperately. Your Honor, even if these allegations were true, which they're not, this is a family court matter. Financial crimes are separate. Page 89, I said. The affidavit Bradley submitted claiming my $80,000 down payment was a gift? Forensic document analysis shows the signature was forged using a digital stamp created from my signature on our marriage certificate. The metadata shows it was created on September 14, 2023 at 11:47 p.m. On a computer registered to Vanessa Chen at Cole and Partners. Vanessa made a choking sound. That's perjury in federal court, Judge Morrison said. Her voice could have cut glass. Ms. Chen, you're an attorney. You swore an oath. I didn't know, Vanessa whispered. You drafted the document, I said. I pulled out another page. This is an email from you to Bradley dated September 12, 2023. Subject line: Gift reclassification strategy. You wrote, if we can prove Cassidy's down payment was a gift, she has no equity claim. I can forge the signature. Jonathan can notarize it. She's too stupid to fight back. Patricia gasped. Bradley shot to his feet. You hacked my email. That's illegal. I didn't hack anything, I said. The FBI obtained your emails via subpoena 6 months ago as part of a money laundering investigation. You've been under federal surveillance since August 2023. The courtroom erupted. Patricia was crying. Trent was shouting. Jonathan was frantically typing on his phone. Judge Morrison slammed her gavel. Order! Mr. Reed, you and your associates are under arrest for money laundering, fraud, perjury, and racketeering under the RICO Act. Bailiff, clear the courtroom. Bradley turned to me. His face was white. His hands were shaking. Cassidy, please. You told me I couldn't even afford a paralegal, I said quietly. You were wrong. The FBI agents handcuffed him. Vanessa was sobbing. I didn't mean, I was just trying to help. You helped him steal $4 million, I said. You helped him forge documents. You helped him destroy evidence. That's not love, Vanessa. That's conspiracy. They led her out in handcuffs. Jonathan tried to negotiate. Your Honor, my clients were clearly misled. Mr. Cole, Judge Morrison said icily, your firm processed $670,000 in fraudulent contracts. You notarized a forged affidavit. You're implicated in this. I suggest you call your own attorney. His face crumpled. Patricia grabbed my arm as they escorted Bradley out. You vindictive little... Mrs. Reed, I said calmly, I'm not vindictive. I'm thorough. Your son committed federal crimes. I documented them. The justice system is handling the rest. She spat at me. Missed. The bailiff escorted her out. Judge Morrison looked at me. Miss Lawson, I owe you an apology. This court was nearly complicit in a fraud. You weren't to know, Your Honor. The divorce is dismissed. The settlement is void. All assets are frozen pending federal investigation. She paused. And Ms. Lawson, thank you for your service. I left the courtroom at 11:34 a.m. Outside, Marcus was waiting. You okay? I don't know, I said honestly. For what it's worth, that was the most professional takedown I've ever witnessed. I laughed. It came out shaky. I didn't want to take him down, I just wanted the truth. You got it. The aftermath unfolded over the next 6 months. Bradley was indicted on 47 counts of money laundering, fraud, and racketeering. He pled guilty to 23 counts in exchange for a reduced sentence, 12 years in federal prison. Vanessa lost her law license. She pled guilty to forgery and conspiracy. 4 years. Trent's casinos were seized. He cooperated with investigators to avoid prison time, but lost everything. Jonathan Cole resigned from his firm 2 days after the hearing. Cole and partners collapsed within 6 months. Patricia never apologized. She sold her home to pay Bradley's legal fees and moved to Florida. She sends me angry letters twice a year. I don't read them. The penthouse was sold. After legal fees and restitution, I received $420,000. My original $80,000 down payment, plus interest, plus my share of the equity. I visited my mother's grave 3 weeks after the trial. It was raining. I brought jasmine flowers. "Hey, Mom," I said, sitting in the wet grass. "I fought, like you told me to. I didn't apologize. I didn't hesitate." The wind rustled the trees. They thought I was small. They thought I was weak. They thought I was just a data entry clerk who didn't matter. I touched her headstone. "You were right," I whispered. "I am stronger than I knew. And you were watching. I felt you." A year later, I'm sitting in my new apartment in Brooklyn. It's small, one bedroom, bright windows, a view of the park. I adopted a cat, named her Star. I kept the forensic accounting job. Got promoted to senior director last month. I lead investigations into corporate fraud, Ponzi schemes, and financial abuse cases. Last week, a woman came to my office. She'd been married for 6 years. Her husband had emptied their accounts and filed for divorce, claiming she'd contributed nothing. I looked at her paperwork, saw the same patterns, the same lies. "I can't afford an attorney," she said, crying. "Yes, you can," I said. "I'll take your case pro bono, and I'm going to teach you how to fight." Her face transformed. "That's what I do now. I find the women and men who've been erased by people who thought they didn't matter. I show them the truth. I give them the tools to fight back. Because silence isn't peace. Silence is just the price you pay for someone else's comfort." If you've ever been told you don't matter, type "I matter" in the comments. Or if you fought for someone who couldn't fight for themselves, type "I fought." Both are acts of courage. Both deserve to be seen. If this story meant something to you, check the description for more stories just like this one. Thank you for being here.